Hell is on earth, and we've seen it. A crackhead with a fading high stumbled onto a porch, hoping to hit his pipe, but found the night air was too windy. Two girls poured gasoline on a drunk man blacked out, but it was his addiction to alcohol that hurt even worse than those burns. A girl split between prison and the hospital so often her family assumed every phone call would be the one saying she's dead. A mom struggling with depression and guilt, raped, and convinced it was her penance for being a terrible person. This is the hell we've seen. And at the end of it all, we wondered if God would still care about us. Because if we're just dust and scars, can He really still love us? But God knew. He knew the scattered pieces of our lives could be made beautiful again. So He built a place, a home where people begin to believe hope might actually exist. Where men, women, and children look for some sign that their lives are not wasted. We all know what it's like to stand alone on the edge of a burned out valley of addiction and busted relationships. But in this home, with these people, we see that valley turn green again. And we don't stand on that edge alone anymore. We're protected from the rocks of abuse, violence, and fear. We're safe here. This is our home. It's like a greenhouse for people. Our Hope Street, a place full of faith and doubt, miracles and struggle. This place cultivates hope and gives us the kind of relationships we didn't believe were possible. That's why we grow here, and that's why we have a shot at growing out there. That's why we invite you to come visit, to see the miracles, the growth, to be part of this journey, and to be known.
Hope is a feeling of expectation and desire for something to happen. As kids, we hope for simple things: fun, happiness, food. As a kid, my hopes were buried. My mom was always a good person, but my dad, I never did visit his grave. I was surrounded by hurt that I didn't understand, so I kept running from the pain. I fell in love with an older man and did everything I could to fit in with him and his friends. When I had my first child, my mother had to tell him I was only 14 years old. 5 kids later, by the time I was 23, things became so bad. The abuse and the drugs, they suppressed things. I would not think about what I needed to do, going to school, working, and praying to God. I turned dates on the street, selling my body. Hope was nearly invisible. I was in and out of rehab, sometimes for my mom and my kids. Never because I wanted it for me. It didn't work. For 20 years, I couldn't break addiction. I lost my kids and ran out of places to run. One night, everything changed. I sat on the porch of a drug house on 6th Street. The father of my kids stole a radio from a car in front of their house. The owner of the car and his friends came after me. They kidnapped me, forced me into the trunk of their car, and for the rest of the night they beat and raped me. Hope was invisible. When I woke, I knew I needed help. I was so tired of my life and the fear I was running from. I knew it was time to listen to people who wanted to help me. I chose rehab. This time, I really wanted to go. They gave me the tools that I needed to stay clean. 90 days later, the doors started closing on me. All except one. The door was open at Hope Street.
For most of her life, she believed the lies that she couldn't go to school.
Couldn't hold a job.
Couldn't be a mom.
I believed I was worth nothing.
Those lies were disrupted when she walked into Hope Street.
She encountered a new reality that showed her she was not defined by the people who hurt her, by the things she did, or the things that were done to her.
The power of those lies got weaker, and hope started to shine through. It wasn't just the people and the culture that gave me hope. The real hope came from the one whom those people and things pointed to. The one who knew my name before my mother spoke it over me. The Creator who knows all of our names. He knows the real me, the real you, and still chooses to love us perfectly. He is my new hope, our new hope.
He pulls the lies from our hearts and minds so we can see ourselves and the people around us in a new way.
His hope appears on the faces of people who love and challenge us.
His love surprises us in simple moments when we realize we're actually safe inside our home.
We receive hope in the hard questions people ask us.
In the hugs and tissues we're given when we cry.
I came here to discover my truest self as a daughter of that one true King. As daughters, as sons, that's how we grow. And that's what Hope Street has given me, hope. You might be like I was, looking for hope. You might be looking for an opportunity to provide hope for others. If that's you, the greatest gift I can give you is an invitation to Hope Street, the greenhouse for people on 26th and Capitol, where hope is cultivated.
The most important thing about a real greenhouse is that it protects from the outside elements. That safety makes it possible for plants to grow.
The same is true at the greenhouse for people. We're protected here.
It's not just physical violence that hurts people.
There are lies that can soak into our hearts and minds, and those lies can poison so deeply.
You're not worthy.
You have no dignity.
And you could never have a real job.
At Hope Street, those lies are pulled from our hearts like weeds.
There is nothing better than seeing someone realize that they are worthy, that they have dignity, they can hold a job, and they can contribute to community in very beautiful ways.
We're protected from bad relationships, broken families,
Abuse.
Pimps and drug dealers.
trauma, and codependency.
It is so good to have space between us and those things.
But it's not just things out there, it's things in us too.
At Hope Street, our members are protected from some of the bad habits and behaviors that hurt them.
Addiction and fighting.
Yelling and screaming.
Manipulation.
Lying and cheating.
We don't need to live like that here.
Watching freedom and peace grow in our members is so wonderful.
It is not just us who needs protection, though.
Volunteers come here with lies and bad habits too.
People always think they know what I need to do, but they never think to listen first.
The idea that homeless people are all lazy.
Or that drug addicts cannot be trusted and are unable to make good decisions.
Fear of the neighborhood and lots of assumptions of what it's like here in the hood.
Huge misunderstandings on what it is to be poor and marginalized.
Volunteers are safe to unlearn those things here.
Safe to be honest about questions.
To become friends with people who need help.
To learn from people who need help.
To be helped by members who live here.
That's a powerful thing.
At Hope Street, we protect.
From anything that keeps people from living in the reality of God's love for them.
Dignity is God-given. It is His gift to you.
It cannot be taken or given by other humans.
We do our part to restore that which has been damaged.
Providing a safe and protected space for people to grow.
That's Hope Street, my home.
Where I've had the privilege to come face to face with my assumptions and where I've made new friends.
Where broken people can find a new start.
You're welcome to come.
To live.
To help.
To be part of the family.
I love Hope Street because this is home.
Everybody's like nice. Everybody looks out for each other.
Miss Brooke, And Miss Ashley, and Miss Anna, and Miss Rachel.
People look out for me.
Who do you live with here?
My mom, my brother, and my other brother.
How old are you?
12.
I feel safe here.
What does it mean to live at Hope Street?
A new change.
Well, my favorite thing was when we went to the play.
Last year?
They tried to dunk me. I didn't let it happen. There are other fun kids to be with.
I like to dance. And we got a playroom, workout room, computer room.
The courtyard.
The courtyard where we have
over there. We for the Bill Shepherd.
Yeah. It's fun. I love Hope Street because we can grow here.
Learning my ABC and my letters.
Oh yeah? It's easy to be me because people here love me. This is home. A good home. A good home.
A good home.
Good evening, Hope Street fam. It's so good to get to be with you tonight. My name is Ashley Thomas, and I am the Executive Director here at Hope Street. And we're just super thankful that you're making the time to join us on a Friday evening. Tonight, you're going to have an opportunity to hear stories, get a tour of our building, get some updates, and just learn a little bit more about Hope Street if Hope Street's new to you.
And I'm Toya Washington, Vice Chair of the Board for Hope Street, a proud Vice Chair. Thank you so much for inviting me to join you tonight. I have been just so touched by everything that has gone on in the past year and the resilience that this community has had. And I thank you for joining us and taking time out of your schedule tonight to be with us during this unusual but awesome event. We'll go ahead and start off by explaining the format and ways to give.
Yeah. So tonight you're going to have an opportunity to give if that's what you would like to do. You'll see different options on the screen over the course of the evening that will tell you how you can text to give. So you'll be able to text GFP to the number that you see on your screen. You can give safely on our website, and you can also give via GoFundMe. I can't forget that one too. That's helping us track our goal for this evening. We're hoping to raise $100,000 over the course of tonight, and we're well on our way. Last I checked, we are at about a quarter of the way. So thank you to those that have already given, and we look forward to seeing where we end up.
And obviously through the night, we'll keep that screen up that you see there, the GFP to 844-333-3226. And as I always tease, if you see Ashley on the street, you can just give her a check as well.
I'll take that too. But just as an FYI, in terms of what the funds will go towards tonight, there's kind of three funds, and the three specific areas are our Baby Acorn Fund, which allows for children to live at Hope Street. We don't like to add an additional burden on our parents, and so that can help offset the cost for kids to live there. Our Acorn Fund is for when some of our members fall on hard times, or if we have people coming directly from incarceration or homelessness. We don't want funds to be a reason people can't be at Hope Street, and so that's that second fund. And then the third is our Building Shechem Fund, and we'll share a little bit more and give you an update this evening on Shechem. But in the meantime, that's also an area that you can give to.
And while we're talking about sharing, a way that you can really join us tonight from home, obviously, is to share your photos. We've seen a couple of them already come in, people, their kids drawing beautiful signs. We've seen them on Facebook, but keep them coming. All you need to do is make sure that you use the hashtag virtual family reunion. And again, we've been sneaking peeks just before we went on live here, and we'll probably sneak peeks while we're in the video just to see what kind of artwork and what kind of hashtags and group snapshots and that type of thing that you send in. So please send them in with that hashtag.
Yeah, absolutely. So to get us started, we're going to jump right into our tour. You're going to see me in like a couple more seconds, which is a little bit weird, but this is our tour of Hope Street. Hey everybody, we are on our way down to Hope Street. And Hope Street is the greenhouse for people on 26th and Capitol. We provide a safe place for people to grow. We have men, women, and children that live there. And everybody's coming from some form of brokenness. And that brokenness could be drug or alcohol addiction. It could be some sort of trauma or abuse. It could be homelessness. We are able to meet people right where they're at. We're able to extend the grace that we receive from Christ to those that walk through our doors, and allow them to know that your past mistakes and your past choices don't have to define what your future looks like, and that we serve a God who redeems and reconciles all things. And so we can just give people this opportunity to see what a new life can look like. Well, welcome to Hope Street. You have officially made it. We're super excited to show you our space. And I'm going to introduce you to some of our tour guides here shortly. Hey guys. Hi. Hi. They are going to actually take you on your tour for today too. So first we got Audrey and Shania and Terrence and TJ. And Terrence, you're going to take us.
All right. My name is Terrence. This is Hope Street, 26th and Capitol. I'll show you around. Yeah, this is Miss Ashley's office, and we call it the Stepmom of Hope Street. This is apartment 7. This is like where we have two turns, play Uno when we done with our homework and stuff like that. That's the kitchen where we have coffee, or her sister, she goes make lunch for us that we have when we have school. Come on, kid. This one of the apartments. Typical apartment, got a bedroom, kitchen, a living room, dining room. It's like a regular house, like a regular apartment. Take a look around.
This is the coffee maker. That's the refrigerator, and this is the cupboards and stuff. So right now we're going to Miss Rachel's room. So these are where the people sit when they just want to vibe and watch people. And here's Miss Rachel's room. It got a nice little vibe to it, everything. Here's the kitchen. It's nice and small just for her, but it's cute. The bathroom is nice and clean and beautiful. I hope you like our tour.
Guys, we're gonna lead you to the basement. So guys, this is where we wash our clothes. We're going to the community and we're going to show you around. Have a meeting and this is where they work. This is where the kids have school. Guys, we're moving on to the kids' room. So this is our big playhouse that we usually just play in. We have our little buggies and stuff, our bikes. This is the teen room. We have piano, and we have a little drum, and then we have bean bags and a couch.
Yeah, this is the adult community room. We can play teams, we can do solo. They have like a space tournament right here. Or back there it's like a Jenga game. We can play Jenga there too. And it's like a board game right here. This is the computer room. Homework and stuff like that from the computers. If you want to do a computer, you could go on your phone, like couches and seats back there. Amisha, come in. Anytime you come in. Yeah, this is a prayer room. It speaks for itself. It's a prayer room. You pray. This is the workout room. You do lift weights. Get it? Workout room. Muscle. Never have weak arms. Always work out. It's important. So believe me, I need not be this strong for a reason. This room right here, it's a cardio room. We got a treadmill, we got a bike. Wanna know how? Told you, never have weak muscles. Did these for a long time. And now I have strong leg muscles, strong arm muscles. Yeah, this is a workout and cardio room. Yeah. Now I'm gonna show you the courtyard. I don't know why they call it a courtyard. Could become a backyard, but hey, it's not my building. I can do nothing about it. They got a large group of people right here. You can talk, you can chill, do anything. It's freedom. That's what I thought. You can be loud if you want. And yeah, this is the office. Kendall, down here we got. This is my mom's office. That's gonna be a surprise. But I already showed you. This is my mom's office. She's one of the new staff members here at Hope Street, and I hope she lived for a very long time. Cause she liked the job. Somebody's every night. Don't know why. This right here. This is Miss Hender's office. Another one of the moms at Hope Street. Yeah, Mr. Thomas' office. And this is the mom of Hope Street, Miss Brooke. She's the mom of Hope Street. She be down there when we need help for our schoolwork. She makes us lunch, and she's like a teacher. I would call her a mom.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us tonight to celebrate and support Hope Street. It's important to understand what Hope Street does. Hope Street is a ministry that provides housing and healing to people who have experienced all kinds of brokenness, like abuse or addiction. You've probably heard people refer to Hope Street as the greenhouse for people on 26th and Capitol. That metaphor is a parable for us. It helps us communicate creatively about what the ministry of Jesus looks like at Hope Street in the housing and the healing that's provided. That metaphor, that parable of the greenhouse, talks about three main things. One is cultivating hope, the second is building community, and the third is protecting. When people encounter the grace of Jesus in the housing and the relationships and healing that exists at Hope Street, they start to find hope. And that hope becomes a bridge for relationship. And that relationship starts ultimately with God, where people understand, maybe for the first time, that they can have communion or community with God through that grace. And then also with other people, they can have community. Our members realize that they can be loved and love others and heal in places where they've been hurt. So we cultivate hope and build community, all on that same grace, which is a central part of Jesus' ministry. But then we also use this word protect. We want to protect those grace encounters and those relationships and that community that's built. One of the first things they learn is that what's protected most is God's love for them. They're secure in the love of God, and nothing can take that away. And then they learn that they can actually be secure in the love of people, the staff, the volunteers, and other members. It's an environment where people can feel safe to build relationships. And not just safe to build relationships, safe from violence, safe from abuse, safe from outside elements that can come in and harm people. So as you support Hope Street tonight, know that you are supporting a ministry that is living out the ministry of Jesus by providing housing and healing so that people can grow. Thank you very much for supporting Hope Street tonight. We will see an amazing impact from the support that you give tonight.
I want people to know that Hope Street is more than just a building on 26th and Capitol.
It provided me with peace and quiet, some solitude.
Being at Hope Street has kept me safe. It's kept me stable. It's kept me from a life of crime, which I started at a young age.
I want you all to know the love that is felt here every day.
I want people to know that Hope Street changed people's lives and put kids back with their moms and family back together. Just wanted to be a family.
It just kept me peace of mind. It gives me peace of mind.
I'm working on getting my driver's license. I'm hoping to be a peer specialist. It seems like so many different things are happening in my life that I never dreamed that would happen due to Hope Street and being in recovery.
We all get together. We all love each other every single day. Really, everybody just concentrates on their future and, their success. Everybody's trying to develop themselves personally as an individual and as a member of this community.
Hope Street allowed me to be me. And I like that because I'm in a greenhouse. I'm being planted here. And it feels good. Being uprooted, replanted all over again.
They gave me a chance to be still and to find myself and to learn to love myself.
The miracle's gonna keep on happening as long as I stay here and they help me.
Hope Street has shown me a more biblical understanding of community as a place where I can see the active grace and work of Christ transforming lives in a neighborhood.
What I want people to know about Hope Street is how much love and healing is happening down there. And when you spend time at Hope Street, you get to be part of something so much bigger than yourself.
I just love this place. There's no other place in this world I can think of better than this. I'm learning more about the Word. I get a lot of scripture, so. And right now, that's probably what I need more than anything.
What I love about every video that comes out of Hope Street is that it's so real. One of the points that was made is that they are fostering community, but also helping community be successful. They're each other's cheerleader, not just because it comes from staff or from the board or from volunteers, but that the community, the members themselves want everyone within their community to be successful. And this is where one of my other pleas comes in. In addition to donating, right now what we really need you to do, we have plenty of people watching us live in this moment, but you can take a minute to, first of all, post your photos to that hashtag virtual family reunion. But what we really want you to do is share this live feed on your Facebook page right now. Now, even if people feel like, oh, we're jumping in the middle of it, that's okay. It will live on Hope Street's website. It'll live on Facebook. So that means that you share it now. And even if someone feels like I only caught half of it, they can go back and watch it again. So please share it in this moment.
Yeah, and thank you to those of you that have already shared it. So Shechem, I'm sure many of you have been waiting and maybe anticipating an update on Shechem. And so that's what I'm going to do a little bit here today. Before I do that, I think one thing that I've been really bad about along this whole process is celebrating along the way. And so I just want to take a couple of minutes to let you know what we have done thus far. I think it was like 5-6 years ago that we kind of began on this journey, and it all started as a dream. And quite frankly, it started as a dream for a basketball court because that's all I really could think about was like, how can we play basketball with the kids that are in our community? And it's evolved into something that reflects what the community desires. And so I'm super excited about it. But in the beginning, there was a building. We bought that building from the city of Milwaukee for $1. We eventually raised the funds that we needed to tear that building down. From there, we built a refuge garden, and that's kind of what's been living there right now. And there's a walking path, and there's benches, and people can sit and reflect and read what Shechem means, where that comes from in the Bible, the different stories that happen there. And the reason that that's so significant too is we didn't shy away from the fact that there was really awful, horrible things that happened at Shechem. But at the same time, there was really great and redemptive things that happened there too. And we see that as a beautiful reflection of our city and our little corner, because we're aware that we're on 26th and Capitol, we're on the north side, and if you flip the news on, just ask Toya, and see, you're going to see bad stuff happen. But we're here tonight to just celebrate some of the good that is happening too. And so there's redemption and there's reconciliation and there's new things happening and transformation taking place. And so those are some of the things that we've been able to do up to this point. We've heard your feedback in terms of what you expect to see in that space and what you think the community would benefit from. We've polled our internal community. We've done lots of fundraisers. So thank you all for attending Hike for Hope and coming to the Bruised But Not Broken event this summer. We had an incredible week-long event, and we raised just shy of $140,000 in a week. And we were all a little nervous that we were like, hey, we set a goal of $100,000. We think that's really lofty, and yet you guys surpassed that. So thank you. And where we're at right now as a board and as a staff is we're just trying to be wise and taking the time to pray and really listen to what God is asking us to do. As many of you know, we had set to break ground this fall, and we're still anticipating that. Our builder is ready to go. In the next couple of weeks, we'll give you more of those details and let you know how you can be a part of that. But please just continue to pray for us. We want to be good stewards of the funds that you have given us thus far, as well as just really pay attention to the right timing for things. I think the lesson that God has taught me throughout this whole project, because if it was up to me, it would have been built and open yesterday or last year, is just that in His perfect timing, everything has come to fruition. And so when we've needed the funds to do the next part, you've provided that, and God's provided through you. And so thank you. This morning I woke up really early. I won't even tell you what time, but the word that kept coming to mind was Shekinah. And that word, I remembered reading about it in a book called The Pastor by Eugene Peterson. It's a phenomenal book. There's a plug there for that. It's a phenomenal book, but that word and that passage talks about the fact that God reveals Himself in really unique ways, and His presence is there. And eventually that shine, that Shekinah, that brightness goes away, but His glory stays. And I think the really unique thing about Hope Street and about the Shechem project is that God has revealed Himself time and time again to us. And yet, even after that has faded, His glory has still remained. And so He's still provided ways for us to take the next step, to ask the hard questions, to invite feedback, to receive very generous donations that get us to the next stage. And so I just want to say thank you more than anything tonight. I don't get to see all of you guys that often, but know that as each gift comes in, we're incredibly grateful. And it's just helping us continue to be faithful and obedient to what God's asking us to do next. So I'm super excited to show you guys next just a walkthrough of the building. So tune in. This is Shechem at Hope Street. It's our vision for a community center at the heart of where transformation and hope are needed most on Milwaukee's north side. We're at 26th and Capitol. For 20 years, Hope Street Ministry has provided housing and healing to people whose lives have been profoundly affected by the toxic environment they grew up in, their own choices, or drug and alcohol abuse. Today, about 40 men, women, and children live at Hope Street. This proposed community center will be an extension of the Hope Street apartment building, providing a safe and strategic space that will allow us to increase our impact exponentially at a critical moment in history. The pandemic has wreaked havoc on the physical and emotional well-being of our community, job loss, homelessness, and racial tensions. Shechem at Hope Street will serve our members as well as our neighbors. When you enter, you'll see the bruised but not broken wall. Each reed symbolizes a relationship, a friendship between members, staff, volunteers, and donors. This is a place for learning, classrooms where members in the community will learn scripture, job skills, life skills, self-care. These classrooms will allow us to host valuable conversations, workshops, and lectures. This will be a place of discovery. And relationships. This is a coffee shop where friendships, job skills, and community interaction will grow. Our members can enjoy a cup of coffee and friendship within a safe and controlled environment. People from the business and nonprofit communities can host meetings here. Notice the bruised but not broken wall changes colors when seen from a different perspective, symbolizing the change that happens in us when we look at things from someone else's perspective. Shechem at Hope Street is a community center designed for those kind of encounters. First for our members, and then for the neighborhood, the staff, volunteers, and donors. We'll have an outdoor event and hangout space where our members can safely be inspired by fresh air and beautiful gardens. Shechem at Hope Street will have a gymnasium that will enable us to provide unique opportunities for the exercise and play that our families need. We can also facilitate healthy social interactions between our members and the neighborhood, preparing them for life after Hope Street. Our mission at Hope Street is to live out the ministry of Jesus by providing a safe place for broken people to live, heal, and grow. Shechem at Hope Street is a dream that comes from that mission and the desires of our members. Your support, your donation, make it live.
Hello, my name is DJ Hines, and I was introduced to Hope Street by a good friend of mine by the name of Toya Washington. She told me about this organization who was making big change in the inner city of Milwaukee. I wanted to know more. I was interested. Now, when I actually had the opportunity to visit Hope Street, I immediately fell in love. I fell in love with the staff. I fell in love with the residents. Just the spirit of the place was so beautiful. This is such a beautiful organization because it makes real change in the lives of the people in our city. Being a part of Hope Street means being a part of something so much bigger than myself. It means being a part of something that is actually making real change in the lives of people that we see every day. There's so much happening in our world right now, and there's so many negative things happening around us, but I want to let you know that Hope Street is a beacon of positivity, a beacon of light. I urge you to give tonight. There is a scripture that says, I planted the seed, Apollos watered, but God brings the increase. And what that says to me is that we all have to do our part if we want to see increase. So I say to you tonight, plant the seed and let those who operate and run Hope Street water that seed. And I guarantee you, we will see increase in the lives of the people that they care for. This is an opportunity to see God work with us, and to see us partner with an amazing organization that is doing a tremendous work. Give tonight and give generously, and I guarantee you, you will experience a harvest. God bless.
All right, you saw all those awesome pictures there. We need more pictures, so make sure you continue to share them on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, using that hashtag so that not just now, because I know we're nearing the end of this program. Obviously, as we mentioned before, this is being recorded. It will live on Hope Street's Facebook page. It will live in the social media world. It will live on all kinds of formats. So while we are asking you to continue to send in those pictures, we'll find a space for them, but we do want to continue to see how you've been sharing and how you've been celebrating this very different event tonight. We saw Hannah's family from Colorado. We've seen kids with signs, so keep those coming in. And right now I want to take a chance or an opportunity here just to thank some of our sponsors. A big thank you to our sponsors, Dick and Jan Widow, Modern Woodman Fraternal Financial, as well as Ashley Fenderson and Baird. We do have other sponsors on the screen that you see there. We're going to hold those up for a while to give everybody kind of the chance to celebrate themselves and for us to celebrate you in giving to this amazing cause. Now, moving on to next year, when we go ahead and keep that sponsor up for just a minute, but we are looking forward to hopefully being able to gather for next year. So right now, we need you to go ahead and save the date so we can see you in person at next year's Family Reunion Fundraiser. It'll be held Friday, October 15th at Discovery World. And make sure, obviously, to follow us on social media. Hope Street, as we mentioned before, we can be found on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, and all of the other social media things that I'm too old to be on.
No, you're not.
All right, well, this has been really an amazing evening.
Yeah, for sure.
So we thank you very much again that you've taken time out of your evening to be with us.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so just to close us for the night, we have one last video that we want you to tune into, but I kind of wanted to set it up before you watch it. And this was the part I was really hoping I was going to make it through this whole thing, so we'll see how this goes. But over the course of the last year, it's been pretty difficult probably for a lot of people, I think, with COVID and just in many ways the isolation that comes with that and just the unknown and just this wanting for things to get back to some sort of normal. But prior to even this year, going back a year, before last year's family reunion, we anticipated, the event. We were able to be in person. And not even 24 hours after that event, as many of you know, we lost one of our members that we were really close with. And that was really hard, as you can imagine. And so this next video is going to share just a little bit on how Hope Street has learned how to work through loss. And loss is different and comes in lots of different forms, right? So it's not necessarily a death. It can be a relationship. It can be we had a break-in. If you've been paying attention to our emails that we send out, we had a shooting. There was a stray bullet that got into our building and nicked one of our kids. And those are scary things that if we allow them to, they kind of knock us off our square. And yet what I'm so proud of our community for is their ability to continue to persevere and be resilient. And we've stuck together through all of that. And so I just want to take a quick moment to just say thank you. There's so many incredible volunteers that I know we can rely on and call on in like a nick of time to just be like, hey, I need you to pray. I can't tell you what's going on. Or, hey, can you get down here? Or, hey, can you just come down and, be a listening ear, be supportive? So thank you. I could go through and list all of those names. You know who you are. Some of those people are Kim and Susie and Dawn. Thank you so much for being willing to be a part of our community. Aside from that, I want to thank my team. They're incredible. There's so much that each of you bring to the table, and you're willing to show up. And it's not always easy, and you don't always get thanked for it, and it's not always the most rewarding thing, and yet you continue to show up and bring your best every single day. And thank you for your grace with me, because as many of you know, I'm usually pretty open and vulnerable about this. It's been a difficult year. 2 years, just trying to, wrestle through why we've had the losses that we've had at the timing that we've had, and yet there's not always an answer, but what has always been there has been my team and our supporters. And so thank you for praying, and thank you for sticking with us, and thank you for continuing to invest in our community because it's making a difference. One of the things I journal a lot, and so I think this was actually something that Rach sent me, and so I don't actually have who wrote it. I didn't write it, but I'm going to close us with this before we go into the last video. And it says, God speaks to each of us as he makes us, then walks with us silently out of the night. These are the words we dimly hear. You, sent out beyond your recall, go to the limits of your longing, embody me, flare up like a flame, and make big shadows I can move in. Let everything happen to you, beauty and terror. Just keep going. No feeling is final. Don't let yourself lose me. Nearby is the country they call life. You will know it by its seriousness. Give me your hand. So thank you guys for continuing to lend out your hand to us. Thank you for the ways that you've prayed for our community. Thank you all of the Hope Street members, both current and former, who continue to trust us with your lives as you work on the different areas in your life that you want to grow and flourish. And so we're going to end the evening with one last video. And again, there'll be details at the end on how you can continue to give or support or be involved. But more than anything, just know that we love you and we're super thankful for your support.
The biggest thing as an organization and as a community this year is really being able to give voice and give people space to name and describe how they're feeling, what their thoughts are, where they're at. We experienced quite a bit of loss, and that loss wasn't just life. We had a break-in, there was a bomb threat, there's other things that fall under that category of what loss looks like. And I think for a community that oftentimes loss is the norm, there's a tendency to become numb. We don't always share about the hard moments when somebody has to leave. And sometimes people have to leave because they've made a poor choice or a decision, they've relapsed, or sometimes they have decided themselves that they just are done. They don't want to be a part of Hope Street anymore. Recently, the way that members have left Hope Street has been through death, and that has been something that's brought a whole new layer of difficulty. It's a transition that's so final. Each year we anticipate our family reunion. For me, event planning is my favorite part of my job, and I had a message that night from Sabrina's daughter, QT, and knew something was wrong moments before we were actually going up to start the program. And I felt like very dizzy. But waking up that next morning and actually following up with QT and reading the words, Mom came into the hospital. They worked on her for 2 hours, and she's hooked up to cords and things, and they believe she's brain dead. I couldn't get through.
I had the chance to speak at Sabrina's funeral, and I knew that was going to be nearly impossible. I talked about how faith, hope, and love were part of Sabrina's life. And despite the fact that things weren't going as fast as she thought they could or should have, she kept at it. And she eventually came to love herself. I think that was the moment for me when I could see that she was truly now completed in the love that the Father and the Son and the Spirit have for us. That journey for her that required faith and hope ended in just a pure state of love.
The hardest part in Sabrina's passing was not being able to have a final thing to say. And I think the key thing with pain is it reminds us that something's not right, that things aren't how they ought to be. And while that's uncomfortable and it's messy and it's not at all what we want to experience, I think it reminds us that there's something more.
I hope our members can see that it doesn't take a death. It can be the loss of a job. It can be the betrayal of a friend. That willingness to allow all of that stuff to be real and affect us the way that it affects us. Going back to the faith and hope, and have the faith and hope that that's still not the final say. The greatest value in our lives is is really not what we get as much as it is what we give. I mean, that's why Sabrina was so special. She had this understanding that God creates a place for people. He understands people are going to mess up that place and mess up themselves, and he is not interested in ever disengaging with the people in that place. So you take those painful moments, let them hurt as much as they hurt, and then take a breath and imagine the kingdom of the heavens where there is a God who really cares, who knows us by name, and who is ready to wake up tomorrow with us and keep moving towards the best ending of an amazing story.
Every time I think about Hope Street and what people really need to know about Hope Street is that they love you. I'm sorry, but they love you. So the love is so real that they want the best for you. Everybody here, and it's not just one person, it's everybody, it's staff, it's other members, but it's like we're all a family here. You don't get that from the outside world, even from some certain family members. But when you're here, you are welcome with open arms, and it's never, you don't have that pressure of, well, what I gotta do? How I'm gonna pay my rent, or how I'm gonna do this, or how I'm gonna get a job. And they walk with you, they help you understand who you are. They wanna know what they can do to help. And I have a list, and I had a list for years, and I'm steady checking it off because they've helped me in every aspect of my life and of my children's life, and they've been here. It's not always pretty, but they try and make you feel like you're a part of their family. They want to stay in contact with you even after you leave. You know, it don't stop. Just because you move from one place to another, they still contact you and want to know how you're doing, you know? And if you ever in a situation and they welcome you back, I've always felt at home here, and that's basically it for me.